Hello, everybody. Hope the day is going well. It's Thursday. Happy Friday, Junior. Hi, I am the Sports Judge, and welcome to the channel. If you would have told me that the New Orleans Saints were 2-0, I would have said you were crazy. This is not what I thought the Saints would look like early on. I've seen enough in the first 2 weeks of the season to suddenly take this team more seriously. Now, there's plenty of season left, and I think it has to play out a little bit longer before we can actually say they're legitimately a playoff contender. I think that people were looking at the aging players on their roster, the salary cap issues, the coaching staff, and then made an assumption and repeatedly told themselves that the Saints weren't going to be as good as they look now. 2 impressive wins already. The blowout win over the Cowboys on Sunday was a statement win. They are the biggest surprise of the year so far. The idea we're even talking about a team that leads the league with 11 total touchdowns is remarkable to me. The next closest are Buffalo and Arizona with 8. When I look at this team, I look at a veteran-laden roster with guys who have a ton of experience. So they got guys who's been there before. The point is, you got a team that everybody slept on that has suddenly put the rest of the league on notice with how they've come out of the gates the last couple of weeks. You want to question them? And certainly I understand, but based on the eye test and not what it says on paper, they're for real. They're for real. And as of right now, they're looking like the scariest team in the NFC. A young and innovative OC and Clint Kubiak, a veteran quarterback in Derek Carr, with running back Alvin Kamara playing inspired football, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shahi, if I'm pronouncing his name right, at wide receiver, and a veteran defense called by the head coach Dennis Allen. A lot of love, especially for Carr and Kamara. After just 2 games, they're the most talked about team around the league, the Saints. And it's gotten very loud in New Orleans, and it's always going to be loud with social media. But through 2 weeks, they have played the best football, and through 2 weeks have played like a Shanahan style of football. You know, we're screaming about Alvin Kamara looking like the Alvin Kamara of old. This is the best he's looked since 2017. You would almost have to be a psychic to say you saw this coming. Who was that lady that used to come out on TV commercials? Damn, what's her name? Damn, what is her name? She was a spokeswoman for a psychic. It was like this pay-per-call service where you would call to have a psychic reader predict what your future would look like and all that stuff. Well, anyway, and I'm sure the name would come to me. But my point is, we didn't think Kamara would come into the season looking like his old self. Mrs. Cleo was her name. That was her name. But never did we think we would get the old Kamara. And in Dallas, where he ran wild, he shined like a star. You see a guy that is explosive, and all of a sudden we have ourselves a star running back that returned to usual form, running all over people as you will. Yeah, I mean, I think there's been enough evidence there that shows you Derek Carr or Kamara, if you will, never showed any signs of aging or slowing down. You know, I think with the way Carr has been playing and how they've gotten off to this fast start for 2 weeks, exposes the Raiders. And maybe I don't know about this Carr thing, about him being on watch and all that his best days could be behind him and all that stuff. I think that's that's a bit too much, right? I will say, even though there was him getting benched by the Raiders, it's going to be interesting to see what he does in his second season with New Orleans. That's going to be an interesting thing. It's on the offensive minds to realize what type of star he is and how he can get this team to the playoffs. I think to some degree, after all, we're talking about a guy who is still left with a bitter taste in terms of how things ended with the Raiders after 9 seasons with the franchise. Think about it for a second. That's 9 seasons with one organization, the only team you really ever knew. It was like, damn, I trusted them. I never gave up on the franchise. My loyalty kept me in situations, and then you bench me and dump me like I was trash. I mean, I understand it's a business, but that's how I would feel. It's like, hey, I've been here 9 seasons, and now you want to sit me on the bench and the next few days or so tell me to go away. Carr's feelings of revenge are understandable following his awkward divorce from the team that drafted him. We've all been put in a situation where it feels like the world around us is crumbling, like everything is going wrong. It hasn't been easy, and it hasn't been fun, but for all the tears shed and the blood spilled over the last 2 seasons, Carr still has savaged his career, and with the Saints, he's already proven that he can still play this game. The sting is slowly going away. Now, how about the positives? There's a lot to celebrate and appreciate about this Saints team. That was a hell of a win. That's a good football team they beat on Sunday. There were a lot of questions before the first game. Were the Saints really this good? I think we can say after week 2 that the Saints are really that much better than they were last year. The evidence is they are fantastically better than last year offensively. Coaching matters. Coaching really matters when it pertains to a quarterback. You give Derek Carr Kubiak, and he looks like a completely different quarterback. It's all part of an incredible recipe in New Orleans. I was impressed by Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, his use of motion, misdirection, and, personal usage and all that good stuff. We've learned a lot more about this offense. Effective zone run game. They were attacking the middle of the field, using motion to manipulate the defense. They pretty much re-imaged the offense. This looks like a new offense, and Carr looks like a new quarterback. He is the epitome of a resurgent quarterback. This year's revamped offense can score. It's an offensive scheme that's built around Carr's playing style. It's a tough offense to beat, led by a quarterback that can make plays when he's put in good spots to be productive. I'm watching the Saints offense against Dallas, and we can place the blame on the Cowboys defense, but New Orleans, if you watch that game, they were moving all over the field. I think the Saints got a lot of talent outside of quarterback. They got a lot of players, and it's amazing what happens when you have a competent quarterback like Derek Carr. I don't need him to be great. I'm not asking you to be this elite quarterback. I just need him to make plays when they need a big play. You protect him, and you have a great coordinator who can change stuff up. And the thing I'm looking at with this team is that they averaged 7.7 yards a play. They were 50% on third down. The Saints are 2-0, and Carr is playing efficient, if not exactly spectacular football. The MVP race right now is Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield. Listen, Carr is having a resurgent year so far. I was dead wrong on the Saints. I like the Falcons to win the division, and it's still early, but the Saints, their offense is explosive. They have a good defense. They have really good players. Dennis Allen, some of his stats against the spread. Look, I get it. I totally get it. But defensively, everyone in the NFL knows he's good on the defensive side of the ball. Kubiak, that offense does two things well. Makes it easy on the quarterback and features the running back. Derek Carr was only 11 of 16 and never really had to throw the football. It's quarterback friendly. I got to see more to say they are going to be tough competitors in the NFC, though. Can they do this every week and win a majority of their games? It's too early to tell. But the way things are looking now and the way the Saints are perceived from the outside, they are a team that is surprising a lot of people. And I think that now the Saints, as much as we doubted them, they showed up to let the rest of the league know that they're here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate it. I'm getting out of here now. It's been nice chatting with you guys. As always, thanks for taking the time out of your day to check out my sports content. Hey, and if you haven't already, please do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button for your boy. We'll talk very soon. See you guys next time.